Good morning and welcome to Redwood Academy's annual speech contest. Our very qualified educators for today are Samira Bemat and Fatima Fadal. Samira has studied a BA Communication Science as well as she is the owner of Celeb Kids Speech and Drama Academy. She is also a radio and TV personality. Fatima studied speech and drama as well and performance arts. She's a facilitator of Celebs Kids Academy as well as a drama teacher and coordinator. This is Redwood Academy's first online live speech contest. So sit back, relax and enjoy. First up, we have Zara Nuruddin with the topic technology.
Has technology helped improve life? Good day to one and all. My name is Zahra Nuruddin and today I'll be telling you about technology. Toilets that can flush themselves, cars that can drive themselves, letters that don't need the postman for them to be delivered. Amazing, isn't it? I agree that modern day technology has done much to improve life, but humanity's great leap into trendy technology has had its fair share of problems too. I do feel sorry for the postman. Even though emails and SMSs are sent with a touch of a button, it has caused the death of a good friend, the postman. You'll forever be missed. And the microwave. Pop it in and voila, you have it. A digitally microwaved meal smothered in radiation, flavored with unnatural UV light. Delicious. The microwave has made preparations of meals easier, but at what price? It seems we've all forgotten about Nanima's homemade acne and curry khichdi. Today, traditional meals compete with inorganic quick meals. You can be quicker, better, or faster with the option of internet banking, or even deposit your savings through a talking machine. I do, however, miss the breezy aircon as I step into the bank with my mum. Oh well, I suppose. Internet banking holds the promise of surpassing endless queues that stretch to Neverland. Oh, and let's not forget about the cell phone. Apparently it wasn't available a few decades ago, but today it's become a necessity, an accessory, and the best company in the toilet. It's great for emergencies, but so damn infuriating when that contract bill smiles at you at the end of the month. As for the mixed generation, the cell phone has preoccupied teenagers and adults alike. I'm sure Shakespeare would be turning in his grave if he was aware of how the English language has been reduced. Titanic automobiles, ships that fly which will eventually sail. It cannot be denied that modern day technology has surely improved and made life, but how much easier can life get? Working moms heat up meals in the microwave. But when last have they spent quality time at the dinner table with family? Cars are faster, but never bring dads home on time. Houses have become larger and fancier, but family is smaller. We cannot deny modern day technology has made life easier. I don't mind being simpler, better, or faster. But be careful. Try not to lose the taste of life. Ultimately, remember, every moment counts, especially the ones on the cell phone. Thank you.
Next up, we have the Astrology with human trafficking.
It's dark. I can feel my blood running down my neck. It's getting harder to breathe. I can hear voices outside. I don't know what language they're communicating. What's going to happen to me? Good morning. Today I would like to take this opportunity to educate one and all about a topic that is somewhat not often spoken about, yet it's so common and could happen to any of us sitting here. Human trafficking. This is modern day slavery, where humans are exploited just like slaves. And who are the easiest victims? Us, young people. While I was speaking to you, a child has been kidnapped, maybe going through the same traumatizing events I just described. Every 30 seconds, a child becomes a victim of human trafficking. In our country, 55.5% of people trafficked are females, and 45.5% people trafficked are males. More than 3/4 of all victims are between the ages of 12 and 25. Let that sink in. They haven't even started life. Now I know that everyone speaks about human trafficking at one point or another, so why am I speaking to you about it now? Well, it's quite simple really. It's still happening. Every day, and it could happen to you. We all hear scary stories. So what do we do to stay safe? We all know what our parents and teachers told us. But what we need to remember is how to put it into practice. Don't speak to strangers, always stay in groups, and make sure someone knows where you are at all times. And you can take self-defense classes and don't go to dangerous places, especially at night. We know how to try and keep ourselves safe, but is there anything else that we can do? Yes, there is. We can support projects and campaigns. We can report suspicious behavior, call childline if we know of someone who might be trafficked. Remember to talk. I mean that we should not keep quiet about this important topic. Don't keep quiet. Remember to talk. After all of this, you may think this does not concern you, but I would like to leave you with one last thought. What if it was you or a close loved one? Thank you for listening.
Our next speaker is Samia Sidat with World Peace.
Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Today I will be talking about what adults can learn from children. Yes, you heard correctly, what you can learn from us. Adults are always shocked to hear that they can learn from children. They dismiss us due to our age, not realizing that age has nothing to do with being able to teach. In fact, according to Paulo Coelho, a child can teach an adult 3 things: to be happy for no reason, to always be busy with something, and to know how to demand with all his might that which he desires. Today I would like to remind you of the lessons that you can learn from children and bring to your attention some children who in their own right can change the world. You might scoff at the thought of your child teaching you something. Me, an adult, I've undergone 12 years of schooling and a tertiary education. I taught my child how to use a spoon. Well, for starters, we taught you how to use a smartphone. Other than the latest technology, children teach adults the simple things. Have you noticed when it rains, adults complain, "Oh no, my washing!" Whereas us children see the rain as a joyous affair to dance and play in the puddles. Children really know how to enjoy the simple things in life without wondering what others think of them. Like eating an ice cream on a hot day, not minding getting it all over their face. They live by the saying, dance like no one's watching, love like you've never been hurt, sing like no one's listening, and live like it's heaven on earth. Somewhere along the line, adults have gotten so caught up in life's responsibilities that they forgot to live life in the eyes of a child, to see the wonder and magic of every day. I have come across many things that adults can learn from children. Children teach adults to see everyone as being special. Children have a sparkle of admiration. They see everyone for how special they are and not for their flaws. Children teach adults to be careful. Children don't remind themselves of their doubts, fears, or regrets. They live in the now, in this very moment. Children teach adults to live life today and not worry about tomorrow. Adults are so concerned about their lives and responsibilities for tomorrow that they forgot to focus on what makes them happy today. Children teach adults to love unconditionally. Children give and give without expecting anything in return. A quote from heaven sums this up perfectly. After all of this time, the sun never says to the earth, "You owe me." See what love like that can do. It lights up the world. Wait, let me ask you something. What do you picture when you hear the word child? You're probably thinking small, childish, helpless, playful, or a human version of a Tamagotchi that you have to keep alive. Children are far from that. In fact, here are some examples of children changing the world. Take Malala Yousafzai as an example. She became the youngest ever recipient of the Nobel Peace Prize in 2014 when she was just 17 years old. In her early years, the Taliban had targeted her because she was known as being an advocate for girls' education, which was banned in her Pakistani hometown. Now I could stand here and go through many of the world changes, like Robin Novak or well-known Louis Bray, but you get the idea. Not to mention our very own local kids, like the Playflower Josie boys or Hunter Michelle, who help save the rhinos. So as you can see, the days of children being seen and not heard are long gone. Children aren't just reminders to take joy in the little things. They are activists, freedom fighters, writers, and philanthropists. Children aren't waiting until they are older to start changing the world. We are doing it now.
Next up, we have Farah Mayat with What is Humanity?
Greed is taking over humanity. What is humanity? Over the past few weeks, this word has almost become a cliched slogan. At the top of 80% of TikTok videos have become a trend in some way for social influencers to end off their stories with the hashtag Where is Humanity? So on my board days, I decided to enlighten myself with what this country is going on about. I decided to ask Google, what is humanity? According to Google, the definition of humanity is the state of being humane. Thanks, Google. I forgot you don't always simplify my life. I immediately typed out, what does humane mean? And to my disappointment, the reality of realizing that I live in a country that is not human set me off. I know for a fact that I did not design myself from aliens, but my life, which blindly revolves around social media, alienated me from the reality of barbarism. The current unfathomable state of my country actually allowed for my mind to be interested in the future, and that was to become my anticipation. For the first time, for as long as I can remember, I was actually concerned about something other than the irrelevant stories of complete strangers on the internet. At the age of 15, I'm sure most of you can agree with me that the most important thing in life was whether your phone was fully charged or the amount of Instagram followers that escalated overnight, which brought out the most ecstatic feeling ever. Ladies and gentlemen, this is a reality check that struck a chord in my brain which brought out the worst fears in me. My social media addicted brain has suddenly perceived that the country that I live in, my country, has become nothing but a place of retaliation and dismay. My beautiful country, which I know and loved, has been reduced to flames. What would make an entire country believe that destruction was the answer and violence was the key to the door to one's insecurities being attended to? These questions made me realize that humanity is not something that can be inherited, but more something that needs to be taught in order to want to make a difference to those around them. In life, we all have choices, irrespective of your background, culture, or upbringing circumstances. Yes, living in your own social media addicted technology device is key to self-happiness and the only way to divorce ourselves from the reality. But if we want to make a difference, we need to create self-happiness and admit the uncertainty that lies in the behavior if we want to make a difference to those around. Thank you.
Ilham Kadra is our next speaker with the topic, The Prisoner Within.
The prison within, overcoming fear. Contained deep within us are bars that are invisible yet serve the purpose of barricading out many things. There is, of course, a key to unlock the matter gates. Though, to obtain that key takes immense courage as well as bravery, because contained deep within us is a prison. That prison is fear. Good morning to one and all. A particular article by Dr. Moses Sibuyaba has captured my attention lately and I would like to relate to you. The ability to voice yourself as an individual, the talents you might consider showing off, the choices you make, and possibly even your destiny, all may be controlled by your fears. The detrimental effect of fear is more harming on an individual than the effect on a group of people. In his article, Dr. Moses Sibuyaba said, in its extremes, fear in our personal lives causes anxiety and phobias for people with such illnesses. Lives can seem like a death sentence. Lives can be controlled entirely by fear itself, causing life to be exhausting, and that may result in the fear alone of living. The most common type of fear is of the unknown. You are afraid of the answers you will receive, afraid of making a decision you will later regret, afraid of putting a brilliant idea to work, fearing what may come in the future if that decision is made. Therefore, you cast it aside and return to comfort. Taking risks takes courage, and yes, sometimes they may deceive you. But I say, conquer your fear and take the risk. Enjoy the journey. We are born fearless, and we develop our personal fears by learning and experimenting. You might have come across the question, is fear a choice? Fear is actually the product of thought, and your thoughts are manipulated by your brain. Therefore, you don't choose your thoughts. In fact, majority of the time, you don't choose whether or not to feel afraid at all. Now that you are aware of the source awaiting your presence, voice that awesome idea that has been holding you back. Go ahead, become a poet. Study what you always wanted to study. Do something that you are capable of when everyone doubted you. The prison named fear will pass prevent you from your second chance at life. Search within you and find the key that guarantees your freedom. The prison named fear will pass prevent you from your second chance at life. Search within you and find the key that guarantees your freedom. There's a whole world out there of your fears. You can simply decide to move forward and The prison of fear will pass prevent you from your second chance at life. Search within you and find the key that guarantees your freedom. Conquer the world of fear within you. Seize your chance before your life sentence becomes a death sentence. You can simply decide to move forward and give your fear. As Nelson Mandela said, I learned that the courage was not the absence of fear, but the triumph over it. The brave man is he who does conquer the fear, but he who conquers the fear. Thank you.
Our next learner is Shafia Ibrahim with the topic television.
Kids, good morning to one and all. Immediately recognizing personalities that are just faces to some of our parents. We know every actor and every pop star. Funny enough, Morgan Freeman, who happens to be an actor, said, "Television is nothing but a mind-altering device." Could his statement be true? I mean, we do plot our viewing with military accuracy. We find a program to watch and watch every single season within a week. We can sit in front of the TV for hours and not even keep track of the time. We are completely blind to our surroundings when our eyes are glaring at the screen. Watching TV for long can affect your performance at the workspace or hinder you from living a comfortable life. Due to television watching, some social bonds are weakened. At this impressionable age, TV is that which molds us into disliking the nerdy kid or making fun of the fat chick. We learn to lean more to popularity and somewhere in between forget our morals. What about reality shows? For example, the show Catfish is about two guys who come into your town and do your Googling for you. And yet this intrigues us. All this has made me wonder, what will happen to reading and writing? Will reading become a forgotten art, only necessary to deepen the basic English of the TV guide? Will writing become a skill practiced barely by all except a special few? Will literacy die a lonely death? Will Shakespeare rot along with the rest? Let us shape our future correctly. Thank you.
Shreya Laird has more to tell us about stress and anxiety.
Okay, I've got maths and history homework due tomorrow, the art project the day after. Oh God, I still need to study for my test. I'm never going to get all this done.
Good day everyone. Does that sound familiar to you? I'm sure we've all had days like this. All this stress and anxiety is definitely going to make me old before my time. We often find ourselves experiencing stress and anxiety due to various situations that we have to deal with in order to survive. Whether it's family, work, school, or relationships, these commitments all come with the expectation to deliver and can in return contribute to your stress levels if we are not careful. For the most part, the smaller problems that arise are fairly simple to resolve, but there are those overwhelming days where we feel as if all the walls are closing in on us. If you are experiencing this on an almost daily basis, it may be time to put measures in place in order to reduce your stress before it gets the better of you and starts affecting your health. So, the big question is, how does stress affect your life? While our bodies are designed to be able to handle stress, facing continuous challenges without relaxation or relief often result in being overworked, which leads to a buildup of stress-related tension. This can cause physical symptoms on the body, such as headaches, an upset stomach, elevated blood pressure, as well as constant sleeping problems. This could also trigger heart attacks and/or strokes. How do we get this under control? Stress, whether it's good or bad, requires your body to react and adjust in response. However, finding practical ways to control your response to negative stress would help alleviate some of the physical and mental symptoms of being overwhelmed. Be realistic. As part of this journey forward, you need to establish the idea that nothing lasts forever. By acknowledging this, you already admit to the possibility that there is light at the end of the tunnel. This shift in your mindset will enable you to realize that every problem has a solution. Learn to delegate. It's natural to feel overwhelmed sometimes, especially when you've got too much on your plate. Allow yourself to breathe by sharing the load. The problem comes with thinking that no one can do it better than we can. So learn to assign tasks and don't be afraid to ask for help. Prioritize rest and relaxation. Introduce a bedtime for yourself and stick to it as far as possible. Also, practice wellness activities such as exercising, hiking, or even immersing yourself in nature, which could positively contribute to your well-being. Meditation has also proven to be one of the best stress relievers. Know when to get help. If you start to feel as if stress is overtaking your life, is causing constant sleep problems, is making you feel anxious, and more often than not, it may be best to seek help and visit a psychologist or any other certified healthcare professionals. Ease the stress. So, let us be conscious of it and manage the stress. Start today for a better tomorrow. Thank you.
Nabiha Ismail needs to tell us whether or not the best things in life are free.
Are the best things in life free? Coco Chanel is reputed to have said, "The best things in life are free. The second best things are very, very expensive." According to me, the best things in my life are not free. Unkept Wi-Fi and my designer running shoes do not come cheap. The school tuck shop needs to make a profit, so allowance needs to increase just as fat did. My stressful life demands that I take a weekend break. Weekend movies with a bag of popcorn and a cool outfit means ching ching. Education is one of the best things in life, which means that we should strive to be educated in the best of schools. Unfortunately, the fees are not free. Having and maintaining good health means medical aid, and the reason doctors live in mansions and own 14 cars is that their fees are not free. These days, even friendship is not free. To be with the cool crowd, one needs to maintain a certain repertoire, designer wardrobe, smart cell phone, and money for bribery. Girls that do your homework these days demand Ferrero chocolates as payment. I have heard adults mention love, friendship, and the air we breathe as the best things in life, and it costs nothing. Well, I do not see them living on love and fresh air. Besides, with the polluted air we have, soon we will be buying oxygen tanks. My sister mentioned that dancing in the rain, feeling the raindrops on her face, is one of the best things in life, and it costs nothing. Well, the rain boots she invested in did not come free. In fact, she walked 5 different shops to find the right color. Yes, I understand that life does offer some marvelous bargains that we as humans tend to ignore or appreciate. Problem is, even nature is taking a price. Playing in the sun these days is costly. With skin cancer and the damaged ozone layer, sunblock is a must. Have you seen the price of sunblock recently? Love is costly. Valentine gifts do not come free. And I feel sorry for you if the girl you fancy is a diamond lover. Even protecting one's life and property comes with a hefty price tag. Insurance companies are laughing all the way to the bank. Did you really think that you would roam this earth free and not be harmed or taxed for the earth you walk on? You pay to be born. As a 15-year-old, I have discovered that there is one thing in life that is free. It's available anywhere, anytime. Stress. No matter where you go, you will find it. Everyone I know has it, and people will give it to you for free. It will not cost you a cent to find, because it finds you. Ultimately, here's the goal in life. A stress-free life, the only thing no one wants for free. Thank you.
Our last speaker for this division is Shaylin Joseph, and he will be telling us about a curse or a blessing.
Can you imagine a world without it? A retro world of handheld telephones and privacy? Are you kidding me? Why would anyone want this? After all, it's not 1921, but 2021. Good morning, one and all. Switch on your devices as I download the bits and bytes of the digital age. It could be a blessing or a curse. Being social is in, but being friendly is out. Privacy is dead, and yes, social media is holding the smoking gun. I'm sure that you're all nagged about the 3 Ds. Distracted from distraction by distraction. What does it even mean? I'm not sure. Something about not paying attention, I guess. But on the other hand, I'm sure you've all heard the quote, you are what you eat, right? Now listen to this one. You are what you share. It is, after all, the 4th Industrial Revolution, the techno age. So who needs to sit around and chat physically when WhatsApp, Instagram, Twitter, and Facebook is available 24/7? Do you even wonder why it was created and what is its key functions? Well, I know most of us don't really care about that stuff, but sometimes it's good to be educated. So let me do the honor of educating you all. In simple English, social media is a website or service where people connect and share things with one another. The key to using social media in a positive way is to listen, engage, and build relationships. Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook are forces of power on their own. With their large following, they have the power to create, manufacture, destroy, and manipulate public opinions about anything, which leads me to discuss the negative effects of social media. Just like anything which can be used for good or bad, social media embraces both features. Cyberbullying. especially among us teens, is on an increase. Can you believe it? This can sometimes, which as well, lead to suicides. Can you believe it? Technology contributing to death. I'm sure that based on my research, this was not the intention of its creation. Hacking, addiction, health issues are some of the other negative effects of social media. Yes, the influence of social media is unbelievable. At times, it's sad to see, as it is a fake life some people choose to love. However, it is most definitely in the hands of the user to use it as an advantage and not so much of a distraction. My mom's favorite line is, "You teens need to focus more on how to be social and not so much on how to do social." But that's our gift, right? It's our time and it's our digital world. Friends, as I conclude, I say to you, don't throw caution to the wind, because social media can be a device of delight or a tool of torture. We can allow it to rule our world in a social gladness or in a social madness. What do you think? Social media, a blessing or a curse? Thank you.
morning and welcome back to the next division of Redwood Academy's annual speech contest. Our first speaker for today is Benita Patel, telling us how to blame your horoscope.
Blame your horoscope for why things went wrong. The word zodiac has been derived from the Latin word zodiacus, which means circle of animals. This term was given because more than half of the zodiac signs are associated with animals. The path of the sun over the celestial circle throughout the year has been divided into 12 parts, each of 30 degrees, named as zodiac signs. Not just the sun, but the path of the moon and the path of the moon and the earth are also recorded and analyzed. The practice of reading zodiac signs has been around since the time of Romans. It has been passed on from generation to generation. However, a very big question that arises is, are zodiacs true, or is it just a fad to grab money out of people or comfort them with the lies? The zodiac science and astrology is a study which connects the astrological events to the events occurring in the life of a person. Astrology is a part of various cultures across the world. The Chinese, Indians, and the Mayans all believe that the life of people on Earth is in some ways determined by the happenings of the extraterrestrial place. However, on further thought, the relevant question is not whether or not the astrology has been a part of the traditions of the world. The pertinent question is whether or not the astrology is to be believed. Can the position of the sun with respect to Earth play a relative role in determining what can happen to you in the next few days of your life? Can it determine your past, present, and future? Can anything that is remotely not even connected to you be pivotal enough to determine the major results of the actions of your life? There are many people who believe in the actions and outcomes of it. However, there are a number of people who do believe in zodiacs. The best way to find out the truth is to look into the traits of the 12 different signs. Based on the study and the relative position of the sun and planets at the time of your birth, every person is assigned to a unique zodiac sign. All people belonging to a particular sign will have similar personality traits. For example, all people born in May are said to be the kind of people who are easily angered. However, they are also known to be honest and creative. Similarly, people born in September are known to be cool and calm, and are known to how to deal patiently with even the toughest of situations. These kind of people are also known to be faithful, loyal, and helpful. Also, people born in February are known to love peace and would do anything to keep it alive. However, these people are also known to be quite dominating. People born in November are known to be highly determined and give everything to achieve what they want. However, these people are also known to be jealous and secretive at times. People born in December are known to have a very good sense of humor and are known to be vibrant, but are also known to be selfish at times. Therefore, we see that people born in specific months will have similar characteristics in common. Why is this so? Why do some people born at a particular period in time share some characteristics? Why is it that the basic nature of these people collide in some way or another? The answer is simply because astrology could actually be true in determining the way we behave, act or react to certain situations. There are people who will never believe in the existence of astrology or anything close to it. However, if you look around to notice simple certain things, you would realize that it could all be true. In some cultures and in some places, it may have become a way of earning money, but in earlier days, it was an exact method of predicting the life of a person based on the Hellenistic astrology.
The topic of our next speaker, Tayeba Hussain, is She's Different, Embrace It.
She's different, embrace it. She comes home from school more or less the same time as me, wearing the boys' school pants instead of the recommended school skirt, her hair not Brazilian but short spikes, an achiever majority of her life, but what's different? She has openly shown her disdain for the male as a spouse and prefers the same gender. My mom monitors the time I speak to her by screaming, "Deva, your dad's coming in soon, kindly start with supper preparations." My dad's not going to be home for the next 3 hours, I think. But what's my mom doing? She's merely acting on what she has learned. Did her parents or societal upbringing teach her wrong? Mom, she's different. Embrace it. Recently, social media was abuzz with pics of racist bikers beating up a black woman, uproar by various political parties. Why did they beat her? Embrace her. She's different. As South Africans, we have learned that Mandela and the government at that time fought for our freedom 28 years ago. We have asked that no white or black men suffer persecutions or victimizations based on race or color, so anyone contravening that legalization will be deemed a criminal. Now, let's bring that down from a large country law to my small Nirvana Drive street in Indonesia. The female with lesbian tendencies is not beaten up. However, but no matter what religion we are, Muslim, Hindu or Christian, we have been taught that hurting another person's heart is equivalent to destroying a holy shrine. Now, my mom might not have seen her actions as a hate crime, but trust me. For the purpose of my speech, let's call her Lesbiana. Lesbiana's heart has been pounded here, and by the number of times she has attempted suicide, I think it's time to tell ourselves, embrace her, she is different. She was a resultant of an abusive father. Her mother tried to remarry, turned out to be an immigrant who wanted citizenships. She spent time in boarding homes and after all her experiences, never found solace in men. In Africa, being gay equates to prison time. However, dealing in arms and child labor is a practice that's not frowned upon. I sit and I wonder, should I pull a PRM or parental loving move? I might be doing the same here in front of this audience, and so I decide to tell everyone, embrace her, she is different. We are all shaped by different circumstances. No one wants to intentionally play the villain. I'm not asking you to contravene your religious beliefs, but I am asking you, the same way you view a racist as one who has injured society, in the same light as one who has difficulty in embracing those with differences. Our society is attempting to fight racism, gender-based violence, broad-based inequalities, and various other social struggles. Let us all stand together and say, she is different, embrace it, and leave the judging to the overpowering God that we all fear. My topic is not about embracing lesbianism, if that's what you think it is. It is about embracing those with differences. Yes, differences, be it social, technological, or cultural. We are all built differently, and in our differences lies true Ubuntu.
Our next speaker, Reis Mayat, will be telling us more about technology.
Do we really love anymore? Do we spend time with our families and friends? Or is everything on our phones and devices? We converse over WhatsApp, socialize on Instagram, and shop online. We have everything in terms of technology, yet we complain about being unhappy. Perhaps the problem lies not with technology itself, but with how we use it. I remember growing up without any smartphones or tablets. My friends and I would ride our bicycles in the street, water balloon fights in the front yard. Some of us had video games, some watched cartoons, but these weren't our primary sources of entertainment. It was hide and seek, not TikTok and Instagram. With technology, everything is easier. Texting is faster and much more convenient than actually meeting up with someone and having a real conversation, am I right? Social media allows you to post, criticize, compliment something you might be afraid of in real life. It's called social media, but is it the same as actually interacting with someone? Or is it another way for us to distance ourselves from each other? Is it not ironic that the very thing that was designed for us to communicate with has in fact distanced ourselves from each other? Since we already tweet and share things about our personal lives on social media, that leaves no room when friends and family finally meet up. When you think about it, there really is nothing to talk about, because we have already read or seen pictures about it on social media. It may be termed social networking, but don't be fooled, because we are only disconnecting. It is mass communication, but we are losing the essence of something very special, our interpersonal skills. We are building walls around us and closing off the world instead of building bridges. Thank you.
Our next speaker is Mihal Jivraj, telling us more about Indian family gatherings.
If you're even remotely Indian, you know that family gatherings are very much a part of our lives. But does the thought of spending time around your judgmental family scare you? Because it surely does keep me up at night. Good day, my name is Neil Juvraj, and today I'm going to be sharing with you the daunting experience of Indian family gatherings. Let's start off with the fact that we're always fashionably late. I mean, are you even Indian if you weren't at least 1 hour late to every function you've ever attended? Whether it's Manju auntie and Sheila auntie gossiping in the corner, or everyone criticizing what you're wearing and what you're doing, these functions are always safer watched from a distance away. When you're part of an Indian family, Rising Sun and News 24 is definitely not needed, because Indian people know more about politics than anything else. And if you need to know anything about COVID, Indian people are the people you should ask, because they think that with a little bit of turmeric and garlic, they could cure the coronavirus. One thing I can guarantee you about these gatherings is that no one will ever go hungry, because there's always that big pot of biryani and the 101 side dishes that everyone brings because they all think their food is better than everyone else's. And how can we forget that one auntie that always dishes food for you in your plate and forces you to eat it because you're too skinny? And is it even an Indian family gathering if there isn't a gathering part 2 at the back of some uncle's boot where all the alcohol is? If you're ever around your extended family, you best be prepared for the when I was your age lecture, and we all know how that goes. For instance, sitting on your phone is basically you asking for a fight, because you're sure as hell going to yell. When I was your age, we had no cell phones, no computers, and absolutely no technology. We'd play outside until the street lights came on, unlike your generation who sits and plays video games the entire day. But what the past generation fails to understand is that if I tried playing outside until the street lights came on, I'd be on a one-way trip to Nigeria. If you're even at an Indian family gathering, you're sure as hell going to hear Desi Girl being played at least once. And once you hear that song, you best be on your feet out the door, because you know for sure that some tipsy uncle who wants everyone to dance is going to come pull you out of your seat, knowing very well you have 2 left feet. And lastly, those never-ending greetings leave you unsure about whether you're actually going home. And you know for sure as soon as you reach home, you're going to have to turn salt after all of those looks you were getting. Thank you.
Our next speaker, Milano Ramaya, will be telling us about a conspiracy theory.
Good day, ladies and gentlemen. Today my topic is on conspiracy theories. NASA faked the moon landing, the truth behind Princess Diana's death, or is the Loch Ness Monster real? Each of these have been classified as a conspiracy theory. But what are conspiracy theories and when should we ever accept one? Firstly, what is a conspiracy? They are actions or plans undertaken by a small group of individuals that share a common goal. Secondly, what is a theory? In general, theories try to explain some sort of information by relating them to their causes. Conspiracy theories are often assumed to be inherently irrational or false. But some accusations of conspiracy have merit. Indeed, most people accept some conspiracies, like how the rumor of Princess Diana's death was staged by the Queen. Ironic, isn't it? Some claim that successful conspiracies won't have leads. Due to such sort of absence of evidence, this does undermine theory when efforts to find it fail. Since they appeal to one cause rather than to many, conspiracy theories may seem simpler than others. Many people, nonetheless, find conspiracy theories appealing by urging us to follow the breadcrumbs. I wrote, guilty as charged. Whatever they appeal, we should approach conspiracy theories like how we would any other theory, by comparing their merits to their rivals. Will any of today's conspiracy theories meet the demands? Probably not. Thank you.
Noreen Ismail will be telling us about superstitions blinding us.
Superstition can blind us to an understanding of the real world. Drink some chicken juice. What is thought to give your brain a boost? I'm not kidding. Students in Hong Kong, Singapore and China tend to drink this while revising for exams and on the morning of the exam itself. Dylan Lee Soon Yu, a Singaporean student at University College London, says it's not a superstition. He drinks chicken essence on the morning of the exam and downs it like a shot after heating it up. It's supposed to help your concentration and is marketed pretty heavily to students in Singapore. The Chinese do it too, so now we know how everything is made in China. Anyone interested in downing a shot? Being a member of the Indian culture makes me akin to weird superstition. I was told not to eat from a pot, lest it rains on your wedding day. I do not intend to tie the knot just yet, but I do have a waterproof wedding gown stored at the back of my head. I have this tendency to kick my legs whenever I sit. It relaxes my mind. The last time I tried that, I remember Gran almost getting a heart attack. She claimed I was giving the devil a ride. When I was younger, I crossed my legs, sat, and kept checking to see if the devil was trying to hitch a rabbit. In India, parents are so paranoid about jealousy and failure that kids land up carrying out superstitious acts, firmly believing that they will pass. Ravi, a now successful engineer in Australia, says his mother asked him to carry a sour lemon in his left hand whenever he wrote a paper. She swore on her mother's life it would give him an A. For those of you who hold no real belief in superstitions, then your life is probably not influenced much by them. However, if you find yourself altering your behavior because of some perceived superstitious sign or omen, then your life is probably greatly influenced by them. Edmund Burke wisely remarked, "Superstition is the religion of feeble minds." Ever since zodiac sign edicts, they buy the daily newspaper just to keep up with predictions and totally miss the news of the real world. It is interesting to see how they modify their behavior according to these predictions. The funny thing about this given advice is you cause it to come true simply because you modify your behavior. You were going to meet that handsome stranger, so you spent 2 hours doing your hair and another 2 hours plastering your face. When the prediction comes true, you attribute it to the given advice. If it does not, you spend the day sulking like a Snapchat filter. The line between religion and superstition is a fine one. Since the dawn of time, humankind has looked to another alternative simply out of fear. Fear is the mastermind of superstition. When life is beyond our control, we have a tendency to turn to acts and beliefs that will soothe that fear. This is when others control and manipulate our mindset. Like the so-called priest who made his followers eat grass, believing it will keep you healthy for life. And they paid him for that advice. 911 was extremely busy that day, and the priest was seen driving a cool SUV in the Mall of Africa parking lot. Yes, I know how desperate we are right now. Forget the sour lemon. I'm so keen to ace my grades, I'm prepared to carry a watermelon. With exams staring at us from a not so far distance, desperate people will do weird things. So just in case, during the course of this year, a black cat crosses your path, or you break a mirror, don't look for bad luck to sit on your lap. Have faith, conquer your fear, and study. That's it.
Our next speaker, Rukia Mia, will be telling us why she thinks bullying should be a criminal offense.
Most of us sitting here have either fallen victim to bullying or have bullied others. However, the sad truth is that not all of us understand the basic concept of bullying. A bully feels an imbalance of power within themselves, while the victim feels feeble and belittled. Do we take action and fight back? Do we condemn the bully and sympathize with the victim? Or should we really be asking ourselves, would we realize if a bully was sitting right next to us? Bullying is so normalized, we don't acknowledge it happening right in front of us. It doesn't start at a certain age. It happens in every grade and sometimes throughout life. For me, the saddest type of bullying is bullying at home. Yes, it happens, and this can be conflict between parents, siblings, or even foster kids. The place where you were supposed to feel most comfortable, you feel spartaned. The place where you were supposed to feel most free, you feel captive. The place where you were supposed to be known to be most safe, you feel endangered. Bullying at home results in a child coming to school with an aggressive mindset and behavior. Statistics show that the worst type of bullying is cyberbullying. Not only are we victims to this, we tend to be predators. We use our platforms to body shame, degrade, and pass hate comments. It has grown in our blood to mock others for their skin or their clothes. It has become our mindset to judge others for their backgrounds. We have wrapped our heads around the perfect ideology of having the perfect skin, the perfect clothes, the perfect hair, the perfect car, when in reality, these are just unrealistic standards. If we didn't have this ideology, Kylie Jenner wouldn't feel the need to go to a plastic surgeon, Kim Kardashian wouldn't feel the need to Photoshop her pictures, and we wouldn't feel the need to delete our post just because it didn't get enough likes. The second worst type of bullying is verbal bullying. A bruise or scar might heal, but words directly affect the heart. The effect of verbal bullying is that the victim is tortured within and mentally scarred. This ranges from teasing, to insulting, to mocking, and even gossiping. Have you ever heard of locker room talk? A study was shown that in the locker room, boys gossip more than girls. Personally, bullying should be a criminal offense. It limits a person and restricts them in a confined space. We are unaware of the after effects that could lead the victim to take his or her own life on account of the bully. It might not be a physical sword or knife, but it can cut through you. It might not be a physical gun, but it shoots directly at the heart. In my opinion, bullying is as good as attempted murder or murder itself. Therefore, it should be a criminal offense. In order to change the world, we need to change ourselves. We need to control our thoughts. Why? Because we become what we think. What we think becomes what we say. What we say turns into actions, and our actions define our character. And we wouldn't want our character to be defined as a bully. Thank you.
Our last speaker in this division, Tishane Woodley, is ready to tell us about the art of being lazy.
Thinking of a topic to choose for my speech, I remember coming across a quote. Bill Gates once said, I chose a lazy person to do a hard job because a lazy person would find an easier way to do it. Good morning to one and all. Today I will be talking about the art of being lazy. Everybody deserves a day to relax and let go. As teenagers, we tend to be more relaxed than we probably should be. As we say, we'll just go with the flow. Laziness may seem like a bad thing, but what many of you don't realize is that the people who are lazy have created most inventions that not only us teenagers use, but also our parents use on a daily basis. For example, look at Mark Zuckerberg, who became well known for creating Facebook. You're probably wondering, well, why did he create it? He created it because he was too lazy to keep up with his friends' lives. So he created an app which would allow him to be lazy and relax on the couch while keeping up with all of his friends' action. Laziness, from the washer, dryer, and the smartphone we have, all of these technical inventions have something in common. They were created because people were lazy. Of course, this doesn't mean that I'm saying parents should encourage their children to be lazy, but I'm rather saying it's okay if you need a break sometimes. So next time someone says, I'm lazy, don't take it in a negative way. It just means they're on the energy saving mode. Thank you.
Our adjudicator, Samira, will be giving us a judge's summation of the speech contest. Thank you.
Good morning to all the mums and dads, to all the children that are watching. A special thank you to the team at Redwood Academy for allowing us to come and adjudicate. I won't lie, it was not an easy task. Nevertheless, we have to find children that have done slightly better than others, and with that we had a strict criteria. It included things like confidence, articulation, their pace, how they stood in front, were they calm, collected, did they have audience appeal, was their content age appropriate, did they deliver it in such a way that they believed what they were saying, and essentially their overall speech and performance. With that, we say well done to each and every one of you for trying. You all did an excellent job, and we look forward to seeing future results.
On behalf of Redwood Academy's management, principal, and the teachers, as well as the learners we have performed today, we would like to appreciate our judges for coming out and doing a sterling job in adjudicating our speech contest today. We would like to give them a token of our appreciation to show how much it's meant to us that they have done what they have done. Thank you so much, Fatima. Thank you, Lydia. And Samira. Thank you so much. Next, we will be having our certificates given out to the learners who have participated. And thereafter, our certificates of achievement for the first 3 positions, as well as the most promising speaker for today's speech contest. Our first participant, Sarah Nuruddin. Well done, Sarah. Liasha Naidu, Samia Sirat, Farah Mayat, Ilham Karda, Shafia Ibrahim, Shriya Lair, Nabiha Ismail, and Shailen Joseph. Well done to all of you. We will now be doing the awards for the top 3 learners as well as the most promising learner. Our most promising learner is Ilham Garda. Well done, Ilham. Our third position goes to Zahra Nuruddin. Well done, Zahra. Second position goes to Nabiha Ismail. And our first position goes to Shailen Joseph. Well done, Shailen. We will now be handing out the participation certificates for Division 6. First up, we have Benita Patel. Well done, Benita. Taya Singh, Rais Mayat, Isan Mohammed, Mihal Jivraj, Milano Ramaya, Nureen Ismail, Rukeya Mia, and Tishan Monreal. No, Tishan Monreal. We will now be awarding our top 3 positions as well as the most promising learner for this speech contest. Our most promising learner is Mia Algebra. Third position goes to Nureen Ismail. Second position goes to Tishan Moonred. And first position goes to Rukeya Mia. A huge thank you to our audience at home for showing your support and joining in and being part of our speech contest for 2021. Redwood Academy would like to thank one and all. I hope you all enjoyed it, as it meant a lot to our teachers as well as our learners. Thank you.